Alrighty, I have a construction update for you guys today. This one's a really exciting one. So as you can see here, the parking lot is really starting to empty out, and here is your reason why. On the screen before you, you are seeing a pretty much complete Skyflyer loop element. It is missing one piece of track. I was so heartbroken. We filmed the whole process on the ground. I'm going to put that footage at the end of this video for you guys to see the process with some music, so I'm not talking over a very long video of them installing that. But as you can tell, they got about 8 pieces of track installed today, which is insane. That might be the most amount of track I've seen them do in one sitting. And it was heartbreaking to see them just pull out at around 4:40 p.m. today and stop installing it. Might have been a reason why, but I didn't see one, so it was a little sad. But it's Friday, and they probably want to get home, or they have an early start tomorrow, which is probably the more likely option. They lifted a lot of supplies, a scissor lift, and a toolbox onto the top of the mountain, as you just saw there. And they brought in a lot of track pieces. There's one more piece to go in right there, the double spine. You can see it parked down there. I'll insert an arrow. And they have 2 more pieces they brought in on those flatbeds. That is actually pieces for the double inverted top hat. It's another double spine piece, so that's how I know that. And there's only room for one more piece up there on the Extreme Skyflyer element. So I think they're going to start working. They did very little work this morning. I'm assuming like 5 in the morning, installed a few other supports up there, like very little. We're talking like 3 supports before they started working, I guess, on Vortex. But I don't know if they're going to work tomorrow. Fingers crossed they work Saturday, Sunday, but they do also need time off. They are people, and they have a very complicated job, so they obviously need 2 days off work. But they did a lot of prep work today, bringing in track and support. So it looks like they could possibly work tomorrow. They might finish off this Extreme Skyflyer element and then go over to the mountain and work and thing. But Vortex is going to be running, so that makes me say they aren't going to do that, because Vortex was running today, which means they're going to be running it Saturday, Sunday as well. But yeah, this all could be prep work for Monday. And that would make the most amount of sense. So my assumption is, with all this rambling, they're probably going to continue work on Monday. As you can see here, work has taken place on the 2 towers for the double inverted top hat. I'll insert a little graphic here to show you where we currently are at with that second tower for the pull out of the double inverted top hat. So insert on screen. This is where they currently are. So a little bit of work left to go, but not much, as it encloses in on itself and does that cute little iceberg effect, is what I like to call it, at the top to hold that double inverted top hat. In the station area, a lot of work has progressed with the entrance into the queue line area that passes under the holding brake before you enter the station on Alpen Fury, so that block zone there. And some rock work has taken place there. As you can see, Rockscapes has done an amazing job already in there, and they've themed and already landscaped that little pole out of the 9th inversion, and they've done this little footing for a lighting effect, I would assume, or possibly a camera, but it can't be a camera because it's literally on the opposite side that the track is facing away from. So I'm assuming a lighting effect or some sort of effect there, or just a lamppost, who knows. But yeah, some sort of thing there. They are doing multitasking all over the park: landscaping, vertical construction, station work, all that jazz. So, and even water main work right there. So definitely very interesting. As you can tell, right here, that's a great shot to show you that one piece of track and where it needs to go on the Skyflyer loop. So I'm very excited to see this element get finished off. This was a very lovely surprise to wake up to this morning, learning that they're working in this area and coming to the park around 2 p.m. or 1 p.m. and seeing how much they have accomplished on this element. It was very calming to my nerves to see how much work they got done. And once they're done that double inverted top hat, the rest of the ride is pretty easy for them. And seeing how much they got done today was very calming to those nerves that, okay, well, this could be done by the end of April, vertical construction, and they've already been working on the clearance envelopes, and the electrical is already hooked up for the first launch, and I'm assuming, we can't see in the mound, that they're already hooking up the second launch as well, the main launch. And as soon as they're done vertical, I give it maybe about a week, and they could be cycling this ride. And we all know, we've seen it with Yukon, that they can cycle a ride very quickly and get it through its 500 cycles and ready for opening at a late May date. And I'm really hoping for that, because that would be really exciting that the event is around its opening. That makes it that much more exclusive. So with that being said, if you would like to attend a very exclusive ride event for Alpen Fury and Leviathan from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. on May 28th for $59.99, I'm going to post it down in the pinned comments. We have 100 tickets sold already for that day. We are sold out of our May 29th day. So definitely, if you want to join us on May 28th, buy your ticket and reserve your spot. And again, for those of you that might be concerned, if the ride isn't ready, the event will just get pushed back with it. So don't worry, you're not going to lose out on it. But yeah, so I am going to wrap things up with Alpen Fury. I have a Mindbuster update for you guys. Nothing too exciting outside of the first drop on Mindbuster starting to receive its reprofiling and having a better idea of that profiling for the Mindbuster drop, as you can see here. Yeah, so it definitely looks like, and again, it's really hard to tell, but it definitely looks a lot smoother, especially the pullout of Mindbuster, and you can tell they've added a lot of extra additional support down there, including the landscaping. As you can tell, there's a lot of metal bracing on those low portions of the ride. So definitely really excited to get on Mindbuster this season. I am a little concerned with its opening. I do not think it's going to be ready for opening day, even season pass holder day. As you can tell, they've been working on a lot of these sections that have already been completed for a while now. So, and we have not even seen those running rails added onto Mindbuster yet. So there's definitely a lot of work left to do. So definitely a little, okay, there's a lot of work left. So we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, this is where I'm going to wrap up the video. Thank you so much for supporting and watching the channel. Here is some videos of them installing the Skyflyer loop throughout the day. Have a good one, guys. Bye.